Tonight's a very special episode. It's the first ever episode with Nicholas Schaefer here with us. And we got Shawnee Tsunami. Yeah, baby. Hoa, hoa, woo, woo, woo. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna introduce it like that tonight. It's gonna be nice and dank.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna pull up his Instagram so I have it here the whole time.
Hey,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna too.
Shawnee.
Yo.
What's up, bro?
Yo,
Hold on, let me see. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me?
yes, sir.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, now we can see you. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Fucking trying to balance out hella shit right now. Just doing school and work right now all day today, but hanging in there, dog.
Freaking hustling on the grind. I like it.
Sir.
Every day.
Yo, so I'm gonna introduce us real quick. My name's Kyle. Down in the, I don't know how you're seeing us. Down in my corner over here is my buddy Gavin. We've been doing this podcast for a while.
Yo.
Buddy Nick over here has been helping out a little bit, but we're officially integrating him into the episodes now. So what's going on? Now I want to introduce you. This is Shawnee Tsunami, everybody.
How's it going, y'all?
Honestly, don't know too much about you yet. I know that you are pretty sick with the filming, the cinematography, and also the photography. I know you said you do a little more on the video end. But yeah, let's get after it. Why don't you start by just giving us a little bit of a background of just about yourself, and maybe how you got into your craft with the film and photography and everything.
Yeah, so basically, I'm just a director out here in the Bay Area. I shoot music videos more so, but I try to do like more like product or commercial photography. I'm trying to do some like fashion photography, work with like Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Victoria's Secret would be sick. Just kind of like trying to work with all these other higher echelon brands, but just kind of like hanging out and out here doing music videos in the meantime, and taking photos as often as I can. What kind of got me started, I'd say, was I always liked to film stuff that I hella like surfing, I hella like snowboarding, skateboarding. Those are like, that's like life right there, I think. And when I was younger, I was like, I need to film this stuff though. And everyone I was around wasn't like the best at that. So I was like, fuck, like it's not that sick. It's not that sick to film someone just popping ollies or like a kickflip. You're like kind of wanting to push it more just so you could like, I don't know, for me, it's like satisfying when people like do something super dope and it's like seamless. So I just started like fucking buying hella GoPros, and I was just filming everything on GoPros. And I was like, man, I'm trying to be cinematic with this. Like, how do I get cinematic with the GoPro? Because all I thought was like, it's a camera, just capture it. It'll come out sick anyways. And over time, I realized I was like buying more and more GoPros. Like I had like 5 GoPros trying to like, oh, if I have a camera here and a camera down there, and it'll just like, but then when I look at it on the edit, I'm like, oh, this is terrible right here. Like, this is just not cinematic. And so I had to learn basically how a camera works, right? And like that whole process of the learning, like my homies always had cameras. I have a good friend, he's a photographer, and he gave me the idea because I shot something in Chile, all on a GoPro, off my homie's GoPro. I lost all of mine actually snowboarding. They were all in a backpack, and I laid down, and so like, I took the backpack off, and when I decided to get up and go, we just like bolted down the mountain, and I didn't realize I didn't have the backpack on me until fucking we were in the car, and it was just, yeah, it was game over from there. So I lost hella like, it was like hella discouraging. I was like, man, I don't even know if like I should get another GoPro. Like, fuck all this camera shit. Like, it hella hurt my feelings because of my own ignorance. And so I just kind of stopped, and then I filmed something like years later in Chile, and my homie's like, dude, this is sick, but like, what if you got a real camera? And I was like, and he's a photographer, and I'm like, what? Like, that's a crazy idea. Like, I could never buy a real camera. And he just hella was like, dude, like, you hella enjoy doing this, but like, everything's a GoPro. Like, what if you had a real camera? And I was like, whoa, like, what if I had a real camera? So fuck it. I hella just like decided to like research how to use cameras for like a year without like borrowing cameras, like renting random cameras from people, just be like, yo, can I try it? Like just to see if, because I'm not gonna buy one that I don't even know how to use yet really. So I was like using other people's, I was freaking doing apps on my phone, like, oh, what, I don't even know what the numbers meant at that time. So it was like, it was all a learning curve. And then I realized, I was like, okay, I have the money to buy a camera. What do I buy? Like, what am I interested in? And yeah, I made that decision. And all I wanted to do first was real estate videos. Cause I was like, oh, there's hella money in real estate. Realtors must have bread for videos. And then I worked in that market and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, this is so corporate. Like, I mean, it's cool, it's fun, but like at the same time, it's like the creativity is like, oh, let's tone it down. And I was like, oh, but I get it. Like, it's not, you know, the market, like that's not what the market wants to see. And just like doing all this trial and error basically with my.
I was just about to say that, dude. It's just learning moments and shit. I feel like kind of figuring out what you like and what's for you and what's not for you or something, you know.
100%. And when I originally had started, like my favorite part was like using my favorite song or some shit, or just like a song that I thought was popping. Even if you watch my old ass videos from like 2014 or something, like fucking, it's just like a random song. And then, but like the reason I like music videos so much is because I don't have to choose the song, right? So like I'm able to select the images more so. So it's like someone provides me a song and now I'm like, oh, I have all these ideas. Let's do one of these ideas, 3 of these ideas. Like,
you can put much more emotion into the actual cinematic side of it. Sorry.
Exactly. No, it's all good. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I was able to have I was able to have the freedom to control what I would want to see matching the song, rather than how I would do, like, oh, I would just film as much as I could, and then what song fits this? It's like, dude, this is like 4 months of random footage. Yeah, it all tied together, and so that's really what kind of got me all started into it. But just being out here in the Bay Area, like, there's so much things that happen out here. I feel like that it's like having a camera for me, I feel like is essential now at this point, because there's so many memories I want to capture that I'm like, when I'm like 75 and I'm like, what did I do in my 20s? You know, it's like, fuck, let me find the hard drive that had 2011 to 2020 right here. Like, that's my memory, right? That's the memory book. You know? So it's just kind of all about capturing the moment for me. And like, recently I've been trying to like, I've always had the idea that like, if you watch a video I do, like if you don't feel anything towards it, like I feel like I made a pretty shitty video, because my ultimate goal is for someone to to evoke some type of emotion, like tell some type of story. If someone feels angry about it, it's like, dope, that was an angry ass song.
That's
like,
what you wanted.
Exactly. You feel sad or you felt like emotional in it, like dope. Like I really feel like I did something right. But if it's like, oh yeah, it's like you know, it's like if you don't feel anything, I'm like, fuck, like it's dry to me. And like, and I watch movies now and I feel shit and I'm like, damn, like these fools are hella good at their job. Like, so it's hella cool. But I just love music videos because it's fun to play around with. But I definitely would want to like play around with like commercial or fashion stuff and see how I could like integrate that into the workflow. But I mean, videos right now are so dynamic. I think that I feel like the creativity is endless, really. It all starts with conversations, I think. And so
how long have you been messing with cameras, and how old are you as well?
So I'm 26. I've always been interested in photography since I met my homie like 2011, 2010, because he had the photography experience, and I was like, dude, this feels raw. Like, how do I do that? So I would just try to use his camera. I didn't understand it. So over the years, you know, all these GoPros till like 2000, I want to say I lost my shit in 2015 or 16, because it was like 2 years later when I first did like a video in like 2017 was when I was like, all right, I'm gonna borrow my friend's GoPro and trying to do this shit again. And fucking, I mean, I learned a lot, but yeah, it's all a learning experience. It all started with like putting a video out there and being like, damn, like it's been 6 months and only 12 people saw this. I was like, dude, like hella like months of work that I put in this and only 12, like, so I was like, damn, but I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna put out another video because that shit's hella fun to edit. I don't play video games really. So like this shit feels like a video game to me, but I'm like creating the video game essentially. So
dang, that's the coolest way to look at that.
I like it.
that's exactly, yeah, and that's how I do it. Cause I don't really, I mean, I'll play like Grand Theft Auto, but like I don't have a system. Like I have PS2 somewhere in my house, but like
PS2, yeah, sheesh, that's crazy. I hear you. As someone who grew up playing video games my whole life, I fuck with what you just said. That is like a super dope way to analyze it and like visualize it, like photography and videography and filming in general and just capturing the moment. That is cool. I like that.
Yeah, it really feels like a video game, but like sometimes I feel like life is also a video game at this point, because I look at so many moving images and like I'm in conversations with so many different people of like all different backgrounds that it's like, oh, we want to do something emotional, love. And then tomorrow I'm talking about, oh, we want to go straight, anarchy, crazy, mohawk. And I'm like, whoa, like the change, you know? But it's like, it's all around the same concept of like creating something. And it's like, to me, that's like, it's like watching a movie, but it's like, we're putting all of these movies together. Like if I never opened my mouth, this movie I would never see. If he never talked to me about this idea, like we would never have created something. Like if he never made the song, I don't know. It's so crazy, but like I just be thinking about shit like that, and like, yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. It's amazing to talk with people about this stuff too that also aren't involved in it, but are also like on a different, like a different format of art. Like my homie's a graphic designer, and he's always talking about different ideas with people, but it's so crazy how it's like a different format of communication that you're like, oh, like I don't really want to put the blue in there because the blue isn't really our brand color. And you're like, damn, like you got to think about that. Where like I would really just think about what makes this image like more emotional towards the colors that are naturally presented, you know, but like, or how did the lighting provide some type of emotion that's, you know, similar to the brand's identity, essentially, if it's like a commercial thing. Like all of these like little details that I feel like no one thinks about are like super interesting to think about with fucking people who understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Any sort of like marketing standpoint, whether it's the visual side, you know, the motion and like video side, and then even like the sound side separately too. Like it all goes hand in hand, and there's so many like almost like subcategories within each one of those sort of like artistic like categories basically that you can sort of manipulate that, like you were saying, to get different emotions and things like that. And it's crazy when you put it all together, like seeing what kind of masterpieces people can come up with is pretty cool.
When it comes together and the artist who puts it together doesn't know what to do, I feel like that's like the coolest thing, is like, damn, they don't know what to do. And I mean, it's looking like pretty sick, and you're like, they just don't touch it. It's like, that's the final piece, you know? Like I find that like so satisfying. I don't know, that's how I feel about my videos. When I work on them, I'm like, fuck, is it done? Is it not done? Like I think it's done, and I'm like, honestly, like the world needs to tell me if it's done or not, because 3 weeks later I'm gonna come back to it and be like, oh, this is what I should have done. It's like, all right, into the next one I'll go and kind of keep that same like ideology of like, is it, you know, like, is it done? Is it not done? Like, like I too much is too more, like less is more sometimes. So I just try to, you know, find that balance in between, and then just boom, move with it. And And yeah, just work with. I feel like I've been working with a lot more other people lately, and having more eyes in the room when you're shooting something has definitely improved like the creative ideas that you're able to bring. But it also kind of like clouds your own ideas of like, oh, maybe they wanted to do this more. It's like, but did I really want to do that at all? Like, kind of
I was
thing.
good. I was about to ask that, like, how do you balance, like, I don't know, you're saying just like being in a room with a lot more eyes and stuff. Like, I don't know if you, not pressure or anything like that, but just, you know, the idea of like trying to complement their ideas with your creativity
Yeah.
into, you know, this into a singular form. And I don't know, I'm sure obviously you've been doing it for a while, but
I feel like for me, it's like, let me stick to the script. Anything else, I'm open for. But if I can't stick to the script of what I have in mind, like, let's do these shots right after this one, kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh, we want to do A B C D. We want to do E F G right here. Like, let me do A B C D first, like, because that's what I got to get for me to comfortably do these ones. But oh, that's a standpoint. Like, we need to do that. All right, if we need to do that for your own personal, you know, creativity for the video, that's part of my ABC then with you, because that's a part of collaboration. I got to sacrifice something to work with someone
yeah,
on something, you know. But if they're
definitely.
completely like, oh, I have no idea, like, it's all you, I'm like, as much as freedom as I enjoy that, I do like to have some type of like reference of like, what are we going for, you know? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I have my own ideas, but as an artist that's giving me a song, it's like, yo, this is also your project. Like, what do you have in mind? And that's for music videos, you know. But like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel like all artists bring something new to the table, and working with them and understanding what they're bringing is like the most interesting part to me, because some artists have the craziest ideas, and you're like, damn, like that's what you thought about. Like, let's do it, like,
Yeah.
you know. So
I think that's the beauty in collaboration too. And even like kind of what we were talking about at the beginning, how you enjoy doing the music videos specifically because like then you don't got to worry about the song. You literally can put all your focus and energy into the video side of it and everything. And it's kind of like the same as like, I think like the benefits of like collaborating as artists, whether it's like you're the musician or the video or the graphics guy or whatever, everybody kind of brings like that one piece that they can really focus on, and that rather than like me as a graphic designer trying to make my own videos and shit when that's like something that like you specialize in, or like trying to come up with my own sound bites for my logo indent or something like, whereas like I don't know, this just like made me kind of think about that. And it reminds me too of like the little bit of like video designs that I used to have to do for like a couple of the classes I had. I always remember when like they would have like the sound file for you, like to follow, like it was like there was a couple projects where we'd have two different sound files to pick from, and like half the class would pick one, half would pick the other, and then you make your motion graphics based on what that sound file is. And I felt like it was there again, even though it's nice having that creative freedom as any type of artist, it was also nice to have like at least a little bit of direction to kind of get you going. And even in the most like general standpoint, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like even a word, give me a word or a color, just
exactly.
something.
Just like,
Like,
it's like when we're fucking around rapping and shit, like I'm so bad at it, but it's so much like you get one little topic to go off of first, and then it's like, okay, you can kind of get
Gives
the
you
flow of something.
2-3 lines.
Yeah, it gives you
yeah.
at least a thought to go off of or whatever, you know? But
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. It's funny how it's kind of like, as creative as I could feel, it's like I just kind of need some type of like
spark.
reference, some type of start, and then it's like blue. Oh, okay, boom. Let me take off, and we're gonna
Yeah,
do something with like water right now and some sky, and like, oh, actually, we're gonna do something completely different and do like Blue Man Dancing Group idea, like something random, you know, like
Yo,
something just like random
yeah,
ideas, but it's like, oh, give me something, like,
yeah,
and but that's dope that how as a graphic designer you also have that same like kind of challenge as well to kind of work with someone. I mean, that's part of the collaboration though, you know.
yeah,
So
for sure.
but tell me about you guys. I feel like I went on like a whole riff about like fucking hella shit. Sorry for the
Oh,
cussing. I don't know if that's cool on the
no, you're
podcast
good,
right
man.
now, but
Cool as
You're
fuck.
good.
Yeah, it ain't a fucking problem. Nah, we're just messing, but yeah, it's cool. No worries.
Cool, cool.
Anybody? Kyle, Nick, you want to go first? Anybody? I mean, I don't mind sharing a couple things.
Something, yeah. Go ahead.
So we all three of us are from the same area, within a couple of miles. We started this podcast about 4 months ago, I'd say, and like trying to just get, guests on here, different backgrounds, and kind of just like really be diverse in like the way we do it. We like to kind of just get people want to learn about their interests, things, where they're from, stuff like that, kind of just getting a wide variety. Like we've had a couple of our friends from our hometown, but not many.
Yeah.
We try to kind of like, we got people who grow pumpkins, who sell sneakers, engineers, like, I mean, another artist out in Cali, musicians, kind of trying to just keep it, all over the map. So that's a little bit about the podcast. I personally, something that I'm interested into in my side time is sports cards. I love grading and flipping sports cards. Something that I got into around May, I think May I got into it. So it's been fun so far. I enjoy it. But yeah, so we kind of just want to keep the podcast rolling. I mean, who knows where it goes, and obviously we want to get a little bit more advanced, and some microphones and some shit like that down the road, and get more video out there and content. But
and is most of your guys' podcast on video also? Is it like on a YouTube platform, or is it only on like audio based platforms, or how is it?
Yeah, it's we'll throw it on YouTube. We'll throw some clips on like Instagram here and there, stuff like that. We'll like promote it on Instagram, try to get people to go to our YouTube page, and it is on audio like Spotify and iTunes and shit like that, or Apple. Yeah, whichever one that is. Same thing.
Wow, we were posting like the full episodes on like IGTV too, but that kind of got to be like, we felt like, I mean, it's cool that you can do it, but it's not really necessary. We want to drive more people to our YouTube channel for the video aspect. So we started just posting like the clips or like a picture or something after each episode on Instagram to kind of get people like to at least check it out. And then if you don't really care about watching the video, you can, I mean, like the normal like podcast apps, if you just go Spotify or like the iTunes podcast app. I think, isn't there one other one that it's on? Because we use Anchor.
There's Google too, I think.
I don't know if it, I don't think it.
I'm pretty sure.
Does it put it on Google Podcast too?
It puts it on 7 platforms. And we go through Anchor. Anchor then puts it on, like, edits and then it distributes it out to all.
Yeah, because
like 7 different platforms.
Me and my homie, I want to say it was a year ago. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Fuck, 2000, we're in 2021. Fuck, maybe it was a year and a half ago or so. But me and my homie had started a podcast called the Black and Yellow Podcast. And it was honestly probably about 2 years ago, because that was when I took like my freelance jump into the world of freelancing, I guess. And I remember like doing the podcast with him. It was so like, there's so many things I had to learn about, like in the RSS feed and freaking trying to figure out how to get this link, like how to upload this audio on something that could be mass distributed on a platform. We used Libsyn at the time, and but one thing.
What was it called?
Libsyn.
Libsyn.
And one thing that was like the hardest thing was we didn't start our podcast with any videos, just because I did so many videos. I didn't do so many, but like I was learning so much about video. I was like, honestly, dog, like I'm trying to, like, I was trying to figure out how to even upload the podcast. I was like, video is so much more of a aspect right now. Like I want to learn for music videos, but not for the podcast right now. Like, so I hella shunned that away from our thing. And like, but that was the most frequent question to us was like, oh, is it on YouTube? And I was like, damn, it's hella not on YouTube. It was my own idea to not do that. And I felt like I shot myself in the foot with the podcast on that, because we uploaded to so many other platforms through like a mass distributor, and it was getting good traction. Like I was really surprised with like how it rolled out. every podcast. We did about like 30 or so. But
Do you
yeah,
guys you ever think about going back to it, starting
yeah.
it up again?
So it's funny. My friend actually still interviews people. He just doesn't know how to upload them.
Oh,
And
That's crazy.
does he have it saved though? He has stuff like backed up on a drive or something.
everything's archived on his GarageBand, freaking recorded, and he
Damn.
just doesn't upload anything because he doesn't know how to make like a cover photo, or he just doesn't know how to upload. It's actually comedy because every time we run through the process, he's like, wait, I don't even know if I should upload it, and we'll just archive it for another upload. I'm like, dude, we just did the whole thing, but now when we're gonna click submit to be on live tomorrow, like, you're not down, like, you know. And I mean, as much as I love my homie, it's at this point we're both in school right now, so it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a chore, but it's just so much more extra to us to deal with, like at 100%, because I know if I enter going back into it, I'm not gonna give it 100% at all, as far as like reaching out and trying to lock in like the interview, you know, like putting the time aside to do this. I was super down for, because this is for you guys' podcast, and I'd love to help kind of promote it and put it out there into the world, because I've never met you guys, you never met me, but here we are as an artist, you know. And me and my friend, our communication, we go to school for communication. So our initial thing was like in college was like, oh, let's do something with it, like let's just communicate with random people across the world. And so
That's
that was
what's
our
up.
goal, and we did that. But right now, I think what we're focused on is trying to finish school, both because he's a bit like 2 more classes behind me. He is. But once we're done with that, that's kind of when I'm like gonna have a fresh mind to like, I'm not learning a camera, but I'm able to learn more about the podcast world and put more time and effort, because it's not like we don't have any podcasts out there. We still have our 30, but it's at the same time, it's like they're kind of dated, and it's not like as up to date information as it was at the time. But like, you know, we still have it and we're still able to go back to it. It's just right now, I don't know if it's like the first priority, but it's always talked about, and we're still trying to get some clothing made. That was our thing, like getting fucking black and yellow podcast clothing, like.
Yeah.
Shirts or anything like that. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
I think
you have to shoot it. What size tee you wear?
I wear a large.
You wear a large? All right. Heard.
Yeah.
Heard. Sounds good.
But yeah, dude, just fucking being busy and just, you know, living life. I feel like creating art, like that's the best way to live life, dog. Live on a skateboard, fucking surf something, snowboard. I don't know, dog. Just get active with life, like.
Right.
So.
For sure. I wish we had the surfing over here on this side.
Yeah, so are you guys landlocked, or where are you guys located at again?
We're York, PA. So yeah, we're pretty much all inland kind of deal.
No lakes, huh?
I mean, there's a couple lakes around and stuff. So like, if you know somebody with
a boat,
wakeboard or something,
yeah,
that shit would be fun.
To be able to surf those West Coast waves, that's something.
Yeah, that would be some shit.
How far away from the Great Lakes are you guys?
Oh, that's pretty far. We're like 10, 12, 15 hours from there.
Hours? Oh, yeah, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. Fuck, dude. Yeah, because I know the Great Lakes get some surfing in. That's from what I've heard. But yeah, I don't know.
Were you born and raised in the Bay Area?
I was, yeah. That's San Jose my whole life.
Awesome.
Awesome. As much as I love the Bay Area, it's definitely fucking crazy as fuck out here. Like, what I do love is I love traveling and getting a perspective about what they think about California. I mean, America has such a crazy reputation outside of our country that when I centralize it to San Francisco Bay Area, it's always interesting to see someone else's perspective from a whole nother country about that, because it's like, damn, like, because then after hearing that and coming back to over here, like, it's so much, I feel so grateful just to be here. Like, there's so much that happens over here. Like, we have eBay right down the street, and it's like, dude, I've been smoking in front of eBay all the time. Like, what are they gonna do? I mean, now they just added hella more security over there. everywhere has actually, but it's crazy that like that's outside of outside of California, like eBay is monumental in certain areas, like fucking, and I don't even know what they do. Like I don't even, they're just a giant fucking building area, like neighborhood, and literally the neighborhood that they have around their facility is all for like out of country workers, and they're like, yeah, we'll pay you a wage to be able to survive out here. And it's just like, it's so centralized. It's crazy how that kind of like connection is, but it's like that's just how the Bay Area fucking moves, I guess. And I don't know, people always think that
Sounds like
Google's crazy too, dude. Yeah, I mean Google's in Mountain View, but they literally have, sometimes they'll just have offices everywhere. Like, oh, that building's owned by Google. Like driving around, like, oh, that building's a Google building. Like Apple, all that shit. It's fucking insane. It's hella traffic. It's never ending.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Dude, I was gonna ask about.
never
I'm sure
been
the
to the West
traffic is.
Coast, but I've always wanted to, like, kind of what you were just talking about, to like hear a different country's perspective on, like, say San Fran or just California or the United States. Like my perspective on the West Coast is like, obviously the weather, the vibes that like are given out on that side, like,
Yeah.
and all kind, like the Bay Area specifically is just like,
And people, I feel like, classify as hella similar to LA just because it's California, but like LA is like 7 hours away, and like as much as I love LA, like I also really hate LA
I've
because
heard that.
everything that they're about, like it's really I mean LA is its own fucking beast, so is San Francisco, but LA just has like a different agenda basically that they're kind of going for, whereas like the Bay Area, I feel like we're just trying to fucking make some bread and fucking smoke some good ass weed, like everything else is bullshit. And LA is just, I feel like they have their own agenda where it reminds me of real estate, it's pretty corporate, but at the same time, it's pretty lit. So it's
All business in Hollywood down there.
yeah, it's all business in Hollywood. And it's like, fuck, dude, I don't know. Fucking, but I actually just went to Ohio last weekend for the first time. And that was like my first time, not on the East Coast, but kind of like towards, like, because I went to New York one time, but that's New York. So I was like, I want to go somewhere. I still want to go to Georgia and Louisiana, Florida. Like, I want to try checking out all those other states. And, but Ohio, I was like, damn, like, honestly, the air quality and the trees, like the landscape, like 360 everywhere I looked. It was just amazing to see that, because I live in a city, so it's like, houses and houses everywhere I look. On the mountainside, you see a mansion. On the other mountain, you see 500 mansions, and you're like, great, like, you're surrounded by it. But over there, it was nice to take a deep breath and just be like, wow, like it's us. It's everywhere that's around me and within physical distance. Like this is the present, And
That's interesting.
that was super. Yeah, it was really different to experience that. But I mean,
I feel like that's something that we sort of take for granted being here, because that's a lot how Pennsylvania is too. Ohio's not very far, and we almost fantasize about being where you're at as if you fantasize about being where we're at, in a sense. But
yeah,
it's interesting.
It's crazy, but it's crazy how, like, because if I was to relate Ohio to a similar experience, it would feel like I would go to Yosemite in California. Like going to Yosemite or going to Lake Tahoe, you're literally, I mean, as fucking, there's people that have housing out there, obviously, but like just getting away, leaving the bigger city, because like as big as San Francisco is, like we still have a whole peninsula of other cities, and it's just like everywhere's a city, damn near. Like, but they're just, yeah, it's fucking insane. And I feel like outside of California though is really what I would like to experience more so, because I've been here for so long in my life, and there's so much more out there in America that I feel like I want to experience, like, and even in the world too. Like I want to see like the Northern Lights and shit and film something out there, like if an artist has a music video, it's like, yeah, we could do green screen, But like, what if we put the whole budget out there, dog, and actually captured that moment? Like, that's a real experience. Like, that's not fake. That's not CGI shit. That's like, bro, you as an artist, someone will take you more serious for that, I think, because of how down you are for the art of it, you know? And that's why I film shit, because it's like fucking, when you have someone who's down to do that, it's like, I don't know. It's like, dude, you're down because I was down. Boom, that's a team right there trying to do the same thing, kind of thing, you know?
Yes, sir. That's what's up.
But,
yeah, and that broadens the whole like perspective on like filming, is like how you said, you want to be able to go back when you're old and be like, what did I do here and there? But like your art and your craft is legit like memory, and like,
yeah. And even with that person too, like having memory with that person, be like, damn, I haven't seen dude in like 3 months, you know? I haven't even heard from dude. And then he calls me, he's like, bro, it's all good. Like, I'm about to drop another tape. And I'm like, whoa, like 360, here we go again. But it's like, what happened, you know? And having that memory, coming back to it and just remembering like, dude, this guy was one of the most highly energized person to work with. I can't wait to work with him again. It's like, he's been on his own journey, but he didn't forget, you know? He didn't forget about me as a person, and here we are again, about to run it back again. It's like, because then years later, when we go our separate ways, just like everyone has to, coming back to that and having that staple is like, damn, that was a really good moment in time where we talked and had a whole moment, you know? Like, regardless of what happens, it's like, fucking, you could show your kids that and be like, dude, I remember working with that guy. And like, you know, just seeing someone else's reaction towards something that you've done in your life. It's like, that's why I feel like photos are so sick from back then, because it's like, damn, that was uncle and auntie. Like, they don't even talk anymore these days, but look how happy they look on the Hawaiian Islands together. Like, what a time, you know? Like, that's something that you can't just tell your kids about. They see it, then now they know that it's real as fuck. So fucking, but yeah, dude, fucking photo video, here we are, real time, live streaming for the world. Like, amazing. I think amazing.
Bro, you just put a whole new perspective into my head, and I'm just sitting here and I'm just going off the fucking walls in my brain right now, yo. Like, I'm listening to you, but I'm just like, damn, like when you said about, just about everybody eventually having to split and go on their own ways, but like at a time you can always come back to it, or like that shit just like you manifest it into, just continuing to eventually happen. Like, you meet up with that person again a year down the road, and that connection just doesn't, you like, you remember that scene and everything about that video and that picture or whatever it is, and that moment in time, and then it just draws you back to it, and like that mojo is just still there. Like, and
the crazy thing is, if it's on the internet, like, damn near, if you know where it is most likely gonna be there for life. And it's like, it's nuts. Like, dude, like, what? Like, this podcast is about to be here forever, damn near. Like,
yeah.
Like, if I'm feeling down, let me re-listen to it and be like, damn, I was saying some funny ass shit, or like, I was saying some shit. Like, that's comedy to think about, but it's like, it's out there, it's in the world at that point, and you can't just, let me just edit that out. Like, you can, obviously, but it's like, it's so much cooler when things are like naturally come together. Like, imagine if you guys just kept talking about putting a podcast together and never had one. Like, that would be crazy, because now here we are having a podcast like 4 months later. You think back about those early conversations, like, and it's just like, damn, the memories of us thinking about it. Like, here we are now. Like, so it's sick how time works like that. I'd be thinking about time because of videos and shit, but like, just in general, like, having the moment right now,
Time is the only gift that we receive, I believe, in this life. So I mean, dude, you're on the right track, if you ask me. I mean, so I fuck with your energy. That's all good stuff, dude. That's awesome, man. That shit is. This is fun as hell, dude. Like, dude, we were chatting. I'm like, I don't even know where, dude. This is just gonna be fun, though. Like, this shit is so cool.
Exactly, like you said too. You literally just said it a minute ago, and you said earlier, like, you don't know us, and we don't really know you, but like, here we are, and like, here this video is. Like, dude. Just in the simplest term is like.
Like, back then, people were like, dude. I mean, I understand that the innovation back then, I feel like, was a lot different. Like they're like, dude, how do we even send emails? And people were like, fuck, like what the fuck, like that's, you know, the internet's not real, like all this like rah. But at the end of the day, it's like people are so, once they had that, people were already thinking like, dude, what if we had FaceTimes? And you're like, FaceTimes like with cameras, you know? And then now they had like video chats with like AIM or whatever, or like the older formats of FaceTiming, you know? And now here we are on Zoom, and you could record it and then read it as a repurpose. It's like schools are doing it, you know? It's like it's trippy to think about what communication has like grown into from what it was back then. Like back then I feel like it was like, oh, we're talking around our society and our community, and now it's like, dude, we're having meetings across the world, across the nation, like other countries to other countries because of
that stuff trips me out.
Like,
yo, that shit is crazy. That shit, it's gonna evolve and be, it already is evolving even more, but in depth, and it's gonna be so crazy to like the point where you're gonna be able to be like, fucking Alexa, you know, order pizza for tonight, like get my groceries ready, or get a fucking babysitter, or like, you know, schedule my doctor's appointment. Like you speak it and it fucking happens. Like,
I feel like now people, because we have FaceTime, we have Zoom calls, we have all these, we have filters and shit. I feel like the next wave of crazy technology is gonna be holograms. I feel like fools are about to start popping out on your phone, just boom, with the QR code that reads from the camera, a little, and you got a Star Wars guy right here, and you're just Zoom call, just, you know, like,
yo, I like that.
Some crazy shit. Like, I know that's up to date. Like, that's gonna happen.
Bite-sized FaceTime calls.
Dude, that all that is about to happen because
like that shit in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember iRobot, Will Smith, they had the doctors like coming out, like he committed suicide, and then like he just a eulogy of him, like explaining, like, I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie with Will Smith. That's a good one. But nah, I mean,
it's been
eulogy.
You're talking about iRobot?
Yeah, iRobot. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, bro, technology's about to be crazy as fuck, but all I know is all I know, so I'm gonna just keep doing it.
Facts. You follow you a Gary V fan at all or anything like that?
Oh yes, bro. That's so funny because when you said baseball cards, immediately I thought of that boy Gary V, dog.
That's crazy.
That boy,
that's what's up.
Bro, I fuck with Gary V. Tough.
Gary V is definitely how I got involved in sports cards. Like when I thought about it deep, I'm like, where did I ever get this first thought? And then I'm like, yo, it's fucking Gary V. Like I remember him like giving me slight advice like so long ago, and I didn't even really register that it was like, I was like, damn, I did this because Gary V said it'd probably be a good idea, but it fucking is. He
was savage, bro. He definitely helped propel me into like do it, because I was like, I've definitely worked like corporate jobs and shit, and I was like, dude, I really actually don't like what I'm doing. Like, it's cool, I'm doing like video editing for this company, but I was like, dude, there was no creativity. So I remember listening to his videos and his podcasts, and I was reading his books. I was like, dude, like, why does this fool remind me of me? And I was like, fuck, like, maybe I should quit. And like, I mean, when I was younger, my favorite thing to do was to quit a job, because I love to see what happens. Like, it's the best. It's like, yo, dude, like, I trust myself to know that whatever happens after this day is like not my problem at this facility. It's not my problem, dog. Like, so don't be hitting my line, because I know I have a whole nother thing of life that I need to figure out for my own self. So it's like, I'm gonna have to put my 2 weeks in respectfully and cut. It's like, I got a whole nother idea that I'm about to be doing. And it's like, just not necessarily seeing their face, because I actually miss more about the people than the facility, like the job itself.
For sure.
That's all. That was the hard thing, was leaving the people, but leaving it in confidence and knowing that, you know, the unexpected is going to be expected. It's like, damn, dog, like I feel like that's a great way to live. Well, kind of, but
dude, it's a lot of freedom though. It's like, it's a lot of, I don't know, it's adaptability and like channeling, bettering yourself. I mean, figuring shit out and being forced to, like,
it's on my neck. you know, it's on my neck. So it's like, if I'm doing
Yep.
this myself, then I'm gonna live with the consequences. Like if someone's calling me, I'm not about to be like, oh, I'm working, you know, 4 to 7:30 tonight or whatever. Like I really can't take that call. It's like, fuck that, dog. Nah, I'm not working at 4 to 7 tonight. Call me and we'll make it happen. I'm sorry, it's 4:35. I could take, you know, but like whatever, like type of shit. Like having, yeah, exactly, that freedom to be able to just like handle your own business was like something that I was like not trying to take from other people at a restaurant or a corporate job. Like, oh, let me just delegate this to them. Like, hey, do this, like clean the floors and clean the toilet. You know, I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, I'm over here doing something else, and now you want me to like, nah, like, I didn't like, I could not do that shit. So fucking having the idea to play around with images and videos and photography, just yo, I'm a fucking, I don't know, what's an idea that some shit has happened. Fucking, I'm gonna just dance, you know? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, I seen some photos of me dancing. I'm like, chill, dog. Like, all right, what are you gonna do? And then they do some crazy hip hop dances in an alleyway, and I'm like, whoa, like, dude, it's hella intense. Like, I'm not sure if I'm fucking with it, but I'm down, you know? And then I look at the photos, and I'm like, oh, these are cold. Like, this had the emotions. Like, now I know why he was so worked up. But like, when I look at the images of the video after, you're like, dude, like, major respect, because I could never, but I'm so glad I was down to just be there to capture that fool doing whatever, you know, like fucking spitting fire or something, or like blowing out, you know, I don't know, gasoline onto something, some more fire, like fuck, I don't know, like some crazy shit that people like to do, but being able to help uh elevate them, I guess, in the way that they want to be seen in the world. You know, if they're like, oh, this is for my website, dope. Like that means anyone who goes to your website will see this piece of work we work together. That means like my work won't be unnoticed in a way, you know? I guess that was one thing that really, damn, what a realization. I guess that was one thing I realized working in all of those like crazy jobs was like the hard work was unnoticed by everyone, you know, because it was like, oh, like for instance, at UPS, I worked at UPS, like all of these packages need to go out. All of them need to go to this belt, and all of these packages on this belt need to go in these trucks. But no one thinks about how hard motherfucking this fool's working. He has 3 jobs. He's fucking got 2 kids at home, and when he comes off work, like, you know, his back is so tired, and they're yelling at him because, oh, he fucking is putting the boxes on the wrong line. It's like, dog, why does he have to deal with that now extra at work, you know, just for some bread? It's like, not, damn, dog, you love football coaching, but you've never done being a football coach? Like, that's what you should do, dog. Like, fuck this job, quit, fucking do free training at the high school or something, and motherfucking try to get a reputation as a person, and then start bringing in your own private clientele, you know? But don't settle here for fucking someone yelling at you and letting your hard work be unnoticed, because it's like, damn, like, that's so like discouraging for someone to grow as a person, I think. And that was one thing that was like, I was like, damn, no one even cares that I made like 15 pizzas for this fool. Like, they just wanted it because they needed it for their party. It's like, dude, that took, like, look how sick these pizzas look, you know? Like, for me, I'm thinking that's hard work. But at the same time, it's like, no one even cares because they just want their pizza. So it's like,
Man.
you know, like that's why I like doing videos, because it's like, dude, someone felt an emotion rather than just like, oh, thanks for the pizza, like deuces, and then gone. It's like, fuck, like there's so much love in there though. You know?
Yeah. Effort and time.
The effort and time, bro. Like you can't get that shit back. And oh, you do with some paycheck. It's like, man, kind of scam is that? Like,
Yeah, for real.
you know, like
Society.
Society, dog. And it's hard for people to find their passion. Like it took me fucking like 7 to 8 years for me to even believe that I was able to do something with a camera. Like if I didn't have my homie to be like, dude, you hella like doing this, like get a camera, I probably would really not have a camera. Still trying to figure out, like,
See,
you know,
I like you saying that, because like I honestly feel like I'm still in that boat, like of trying to figure, you know, it all out. And to even hear you say that though and put that in perspective for me.
yeah, bro, because like I didn't know what to do when I had a GoPro. I just bought one, and then I was like, dude, but editing was so fun for me. And like everyone I work with, like no one likes editing videos. Like No one likes it. But me, I don't mind it. Like, it's not the worst thing. I don't want to be hired as a video editor for sure because it's not something I shot. But like, I mean, fuck, for some bread, why not? But fucking, it's not my passion. You know, my passion is collaborating with someone, putting some ideas on paper, watching it blossom in front of our eyes, like in a dark room and studio, and being like, damn, luckily this camera was rolling to capture whatever happened today, because when we put it in the computer system and cut it up, a little story might be told. And that's like fucking sick as fuck to see that whole thing come from just a conversation at first. But I mean, yeah, dude, I mean, I like, for me, I personally, I'm in a venture right now where I'm trying to figure out how to make socks. Like, I love socks, bro, and it's crazy to think about, but I was like, dude, I think I need to make a sock brand, and fucking reusing and repurposing photos that I have that to me are super sick, but like, no one's gonna buy these fucking, some of these photos. So what if I repurpose it on a clothing brand? Like, what if I just print them on socks and people just wear my photos? Like, I mean, I don't know who's gonna wear these photos. I'll wear them because obviously it's my photo and my sock. But to me, that'll be telling me that I don't need to rely on sock companies anymore because I got my own sick ass socks.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants them, I got some sick photos that I think are pretty cool. You might think are cool too, but like, just check them out. You might, you know, if you want it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to make money. I'm just trying to repurpose my fucking photos that I think would be cool, because I mean, I wouldn't buy this picture, but if it was on a sock, fuck, I might buy it probably. Or I'd buy it even if it wasn't on a sock because I took the photo. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Just like, I came up with that a few winters ago, and so I've been trying to like slowly pick at that idea of how I'm like gonna design, like how to use a design program, how to mass produce a different design in different colors on a sock. Like, how do I manufacture this? You know, all the things that revolve around a sock company, just like I had to do with a camera. How the fuck does these cameras work? What is camera color profiles? There's different cameras, different aspect ratios, different lenses, like all that shit I had to learn, to the point where I was like, damn, I know nothing. And then here I am, like, I know some stuff, but I'm so small in the spectrum. It's like, I'm gonna just keep chipping away, you know? I'm not about to just, look up and be like, fuck, like, I'm gonna just fucking boom, boom, just keep going up the ladder if I could. And if I fall down, fuck it, dog. Keep going up the ladder, dog, because fuck it, you know? But trying to see something different with the socks and see what happens with that, just because I hella like socks. And
good to dip in a couple different things too. Like, it's good to test the waters on even a small idea as a sock. Like, because I mean, there's a very big sock game out there. I mean, socks are just as like heavy as shoes, but it's like,
it's a market.
There's a market for everything, honestly.
People, exactly. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to sell tractor tires, you know, so I probably won't sell tractor tires, but I could probably sell some socks because I have images to help make these socks. But like, just having like fucking that, I guess, like, courage to be able to just willingly, let me just try to put a sock company together. Like, I feel like that is like hella crazy for someone to start a brand, a company of any sort. I feel like you have to have hella courage to just do that. And it's like, it's so scary. But once you believe in yourself, you're like, damn, like, we did something, you know, like, as a person, as a whole, like, you did something. And that's like something no one can take away from you. You know, no one can say, oh, you didn't make those socks. You're like, dog, I did. Like, no, you didn't make that podcast. You're like, nah, like, we hella did. Like, you didn't upload that. Like, nah, fool, we did. Like, you know, no one can take that shit away from you because your name is on it. You're part of that team. Like, it's fucking, it's crazy. It's crazy. But
your stamp and start branding everything.
Yeah, and trying to figure out the identity of it, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm still trying to figure out my own style as far as like a video director, filmmaker. Like, what is my style? Like, I don't know, but I like things that look sick, but at the same time, like, I love R&B music. So how do I combine the two? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hope Red Bull hits me up and has a collaboration with Calvin Klein or something. Fuck, that'd be a crazy collaboration. Who knows? I don't know. But
For real.
Red
I saw
Bull,
you were doing. I was going through your Instagram. I saw you like you put a couple of projects together for cookies and stuff like that. For like they're pretty sweet, dude. A bunch of short films. I mean, that shit was pretty cool. I thought that was neat.
yeah, bro. Fucking shout out to Cookies, dog. Cookies SF. Shout out to Burner and everyone. That whole, organization. I feel like they've been such a like is it like a staple? Like a staple. There you go. They're like a staple in the Bay Area, I think, as far as just like branding,
Yeah.
because fucking Burner has made such a great name for himself and his company that he did it in such a smart way where he didn't combine the clothing with the weed. He kept them separate. Like obviously Cookies is a strain, but the clothing company represents a lifestyle. And so it's like, it's like marijuana emphasis, but it's not like, oh, let's just put all our weed in these clothing. It's like, nah, let's have fucking a pro BMX rider wearing our clothing. Let's have a pro basketball player repping the clothing, because that's the lifestyle. Obviously that fool smokes weed, but he's not going to tell the whole world he smokes weed. But like if he rocks the Cookies, you might be smoking some tree, who knows? But like that's the culture.
Yeah.
That's the branding. And it was so clever because I mean in the Bay Area, fucking people who work in corporate, obviously whoever gets drug tested, like whatever, you're gonna finesse that. But like there's a lot of people that work in corporate who are like, oh, hella smoke weed, and they can't even rep that. Like even in school when Cookies came out, we couldn't even rep Cookies. I remember that.
Wow.
I remember they're like, oh, you have Cookies clothing that's drug related, gang related. We're like damn, they really feel this way towards us. Like, I mean, obviously that's probably changed, but I remember that was a thing, like in my high school experience, like when Cookies was, up and coming, because of the conversation about the strain and how it blended. But like, as far as moving forward, that brand has done like such a good way of keeping it separate, but also, I mean, it's like a mother company.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy you brought them up. I'm actually shooting with them tomorrow, in Fremont, or I guess in a skate park, yeah, at Fremont Skate Park tomorrow with the same homie, Nigel Jones. So we're gonna be doing some sick. We're gonna do a giveaway. We're doing a clothing giveaway to the kids.
Hey.
It's gonna be sick as fuck. Shout out Nigel for the idea. Shout out Romsky. Fuck, legends. That's everything.
Damn, that's what's up. What's one of your favorite projects that you've worked on? I mean, it could be, I guess, anything over your time.
I'll say, damn, my favorite project. I want to say this project I did with my boy Cash Campaign, just because. Well, also Casey Coe. I feel like they're both two R&B artists in the Bay Area. Shout out to Casey. Shout out to Cash Cam. But basically, I remember when I first heard their music, and like this was, I mean, I was doing videos and stuff, but like I wasn't confident enough to like reach out to them, and I was like, fuck, like these guys got really good music, like I'm fucking with their music. And I remember there was a song I heard by both of them together, and I was like, dude, I need to shoot that video. And then I realized it was already shot, and I was like, fuck, like I really wanted to shoot that. So whatever, fast forward, like I reached out to all the artists individually, and I was like, yo, I'm hella trying to work with you, like I would love to just make a video with you guys. And it took hella time for us to finally lock it in, but like when the video was shot and when we cut it up, I was just so amazed with like the time that I gave myself to just finally work with them on it, because I feel like the music is so good to me. Like that's why it's one of my favorites, because it's like when I have music that's so good and I'm like, dude, like I'm able to create the imagery for this, like how can I present this to the world as best I can for this artist, that I'm a fan of in a way, and just fucking trying to make those split decisions and just putting it into the world for them, with them, essentially. That's like super exciting, but it's also super nerve-wracking to like fuck, is it done yet? You know, like the discipline.
Mhm.
I'm like, fuck, do I add more? Are they gonna like it or not? It's like, fuck it, send it to them first, get the revisions, you know. But going through that, I'd probably say, yeah, the video I did motions with Cash Campaign or backup with Casey Cope. Those two music videos were like two of my favorite. Um, what else? I did one with my boy. Let me think. Honestly, the cookie shoot was super sick too. I had my homie Khalil come out. That was honestly a sick one. That was a great production. I had the whole gang with me. Shout out Improvised Productions. That was squad. That was all. That was real love. My boy Khalil, one of my best friends, the fucking homie on the Black and Yellow podcast. He was
That's
the first one to like come out to a production with me, and I was like, dude, like, you want to like not the first one to come out, but like the first one I was like, bro, like the first one he ever came out with me, and yeah, dude, it was such a nerve wracking day for me because I was like, fuck, this is for cookies, like I don't know, it's Nigel Jones, like a pro skater, like I don't know, like how do I? But I just had to remember, like I have my team with me, like everyone here believes in me just as much as I believe in myself, so like they're asking me what's going on, I know exactly what's going on, dog. This is what's happening. Like for a second, I psyched myself out until I'm like it's like sitting on the sidelines as offense when you're like waiting for defense to either come off or not. You know, you're like, fuck, dog,
yeah,
am I or not? You know, it's like, but once you're in it, it's like, oh, what am I? Was I worried?
yeah.
And
It just
having my
clicks.
homie, yeah, it's just second nature, you know, and having one of my best friends there, just like taking photos, and he doesn't even use a camera, so he's using my camera. He's like, I'm not sure if it's working. I'm like looking at his photos. I'm like, dude, you're doing a pretty good job. Like, it's not bad. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
it was just like, man, like you were here doubting yourself, and my fucking homie, like, fucking shout out to Khalil, dude. He was so funny, and that was a great project just because of everyone involved. Like, I love that production,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, it's gonna be the last time I saw Nigel was that production, so it'll be cool to see him tomorrow and catch up. So, but probably those, I'd say those are my top three. To
Okay.
choose one, it's
Probably
hard.
too tough.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to choose one. I feel like because there's so many. Like
Right.
they're all fun as fuck. But like
I feel like even like a week from now, like I mean I don't know obviously per se, but I feel like a week from now, it wouldn't surprise me if like you maybe had like a different one in there that you thought of like way back ago or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I
I feel
probably.
like
I
that's
mean,
something
I'd probably think about another one. I'll be like, oh, that was a sick ass
that
production.
one. Yeah.
But they're all super fun. Like it's because the artists that I work with make it super exciting.
But I don't know if anybody has anything else they're looking forward to or.
I
Yeah,
think,
Oh, we had some good conversation.
hell yeah.
yeah,
Like I covered a lot, dude.
yeah,
About
I thought it was dope, man. Sean, I really dig your perspective with everything, man. You know, I think like we talk a lot about just like keeping a positive mindset, and I know like some of the shit you're talking about, just like being on the ladder, you know, kind of keeping a steady climb, and then you get knocked down, keep going, kind of thing. Like, you know, winning and learning sort of mentality, and I don't know, just your whole mindset in general. I really did enjoy chatting with you about everything, not just about the artwork, but like I said,
Everything.
the perspective, right? Just
Yeah. Yep.
but
That mindset, dude.
again,
you,
I got a quick question. Do you guys play any sports?
I used to wrestle. I wrestled in college for a little bit, but high school I played football and wrestled, and those guys
Football,
were all athletes too. But
Yeah, I used to play football, baseball, and I wrestled too.
football and baseball and wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah.
I played football senior year with these guys. I used to play basketball, ran track.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like because these are all team sports. Like my
Yeah.
mom never let me play football. I was gonna play in high school, but then I went to a different high school, so I didn't want to play for the high school I went to. I was like, fuck that. But I grew up playing. I grew up playing soccer my whole life, damn near, and then our whole team would always win. So I was like, always sick of winning. I was like, dude, we're hella good, which is awesome, but like there's other teams that are losing, you know? So I was like, I need to see what that shit feels like. I mean, obviously we've lost games, but like we were always winning. So I quit the sport completely. And I started doing hockey, straight playing ice hockey,
Damn,
fucking
that's what's
regular
up.
floor hockey. Like it was just a whole nother sport. And we were always losing. Like fuck, we were hella bad. But it really gave me that mindset to be like, dude, you're gonna lose in life, right? Like life's never about always winning. And if it is, like, fuck, dude, you got cheat codes on your team or something, because
Yeah.
you gotta take some losses. And understanding that, and then being as a hockey player, like I took a lot of time off, but we recently started playing. It put a lot of like life perspective back into like how I think about things. It's like, dude, just because I'm not the best player on the team doesn't mean I'm not essential, you know? And just because you're not the best, I'm not the best director in the game doesn't mean people don't appreciate the work, you know? So it's like, as long as I keep the mindset of like, someday I'll take the championship home. I know that's the ultimate goal, you know? If I can shout out Michael Jordan for that mindset my whole life. But you definitely have to take a loss here and there, you know? And I feel like sports with teams, they really teach you that. I mean, and there's skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, those are all individual sports where you're battling either with someone on the rink or whatever, in the water for the wave, or on the mountain, or even just your homies, like who can throw the bigger backflip. It's like there's those little competitions within self, but like understanding it also as like a team perspective, I feel like, you know, it's like, dude, I don't play offense, but I for sure as hell play defense, or vice versa. You know,
Yeah.
you have that mindset to know you fit you play your role, and you play it as best you can. And I feel like for people who've never played sports and anything, I feel like they might not be mentally as strong, but they'll be way stronger as far as creativity, because they'll have so many other things that they've done in their life that have brought them to where they are, that it's like, yeah, they're not cut out for sports and physical fitness, but fuck, they don't even think they can paint, but they just painted a crazy beautiful parrot. And you're like, what? Like, and you've never played a team sport, and you don't believe in yourself. It's like, fuck, dude, like I see the potential in you more than you even see in yourself. And telling someone that, having, you know, to inspire someone like that, and helping them see it within themselves, like I feel like that's what life could be about too, you know, helping someone inspire themselves. And I don't even know where that went off of, but it went off of the idea of like teamwork, you know, and how
That makes a lot
how
of sense.
things,
That was
exactly.
a really good point. I think like you're saying, and I agree with that a lot because, dude. So, like I already told you, I'm a graphic designer, right? I went to college for art, and I thought going to college was I was gonna get so much more into my artwork, but then I was still wrestling in college, and my whole life in like high school pretty much was all revolved around football and wrestling, basically growing up. And so like my creativity, like my dad's a hell of an artist. Like it's just crazy. But when he was young, like he played sports, but it was just basically like during the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're growing up, it's like you got year-round training and all this different off-season tournaments and stuff that you're going to. So like I really didn't spend much time, you know, with a pencil and paper just practicing just basic drawing skills until really like I got to college. And even then I was still focused so much on wrestling that like I feel that a lot. Like and you tend to, I don't know, like you gain attributes from doing the sports, but then like the creativity side or whatever other side it is that you could have been investing time into
Yeah.
is it's gonna lack. It's gonna, you know, have either a delay to it because you weren't starting on it early enough, or it's just gonna be, you know, behind everybody else who got jumping on it. But I think it's a good point of whether you have somebody in there um, on the other end of the spectrum reminding you or instilling those confidence. I think just like even stuff like this, like having our podcast was like a big thing. Like at the beginning, we were talking about just trying to provide some sort of platform for people to kind of just express some of these things. So like it's like if somebody doesn't have that other person, like, you know, that either is the more creative one or the more confident one, or and it can be, you know, either one can have both attributes or whatever. But we're saying just for the example, like then maybe they like can pull up like, you know, episodes like this, we're talking about this kind of shit, and use that as like a reminder, like, hey, like you need to have a little bit of confidence in yourself because you did spend all this time, you know, becoming creative, and you're doing, you know, you're doing work that other people dream of doing, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever it might be, and vice versa. Like the overall, I don't know. I'm going into like specifically based off of what you were saying too, but putting my own kind of personal like thoughts on it. But I feel like it's important. I feel like it's a very interesting like take you just had there, and it did make a lot of sense to me. I know it was very in depth, but that was some intellectual shit for sure, and it made a lot of sense. So
Dude,
I respect that. I like that a lot.
I think sports are like one of the best things. Like I always said, like outside of like family and friends, like I love like sports are like for me personally, like just right there. Um, I love what they teach you. Like, I mean, everything that you guys are saying, like it teaches you so much about not only yourself, but like just how to work well with others and like coming like, dude, like I wish like like this country. I don't want to get political at all because I don't fucking. I'm not a political dude, but like I do just have love for everybody, and I feel like if you played sports, when you stepped on that fucking field, that rink, that court, whatever, that mat, whatever the hell it is, literally any distraction in life is all fucking thrown away, and it's what is our goal right now? Our goal is to either beat this team or do whatever it is, like, and you just drop the bullshit and you fucking go after it, and like it also like helps with like just goals. So like I mean the beginning of the year or the end of a season, and then you're going over your goals for next season or something like that. For instance, like football, like winning the Super Bowl, or to narrow it down to high school, like winning a division, fuck the division, winning districts, or like winning states, something like that. Like then you have to realize, okay, well, that's 6 months from now. What do we have to do today? Well, today we got to work harder than everybody else today. And then when we wake up tomorrow, that's what we have to do tomorrow. We have to work harder than everyone else who is going for the same goal that we are, because, you know, we want it more. And I don't know, it just teaches you like hard work, determination, loyalty. I think it teaches a lot of loyalty. Like, I mean, when you have 50 dudes that are showing up at 6 a.m. for summer workouts, but 7 people didn't, best believe they're phone calling or they're getting their door knocked on or something. Like, where the fuck you at, dude? Like, we're all out here. Why the hell aren't you out here busting your ass with us? If you committed, you know, just I don't know, just getting everybody to buy in. And like that's why I said earlier I didn't want to take it politically, because I'm not like, but I, you know, I do wish that like this country could like kind of like have that sports teamwork mindset too. Like, fuck this, let's just come for a common goal so everybody. But like I said, I'm not trying to go that route at all.
It's like it goes to show like how bad do you want it? You know, the off season's the proving ground, and it goes to show like, yo, dog, how bad do you want it? Because you've been missing 3 weeks of practice. You know, it's like, like even right now, like we're not even for hockey, like we're not even playing games. We'll have like a pickup game every Saturday now because the league is shut down. But we have these things called Gretzky hours, and it's just like a hour and a half practice session. But it's, you know, it's open to the public, and if you're pulling up, like at least you're getting some work in. And I mean, I don't go every day just for time, but like I try to go at least once a week, because the moment that I have that game, that monthly once a month game, if I can squeeze it in, fuck, that's championship game, regardless of who's playing. Because like you said, dude, it's like once you step foot on the ice or whatever the field, like you're trying to get that dub, dog. Like you're trying to walk away with your W, and but how bad do you want it, you know? Because maybe everyone out there is just playing just to play and just to have fun, just to get some exercise, just to roll around with their son or something. Like that's dope. But like this whole team on our side hasn't played all year. We're trying to get some W's regardless of how hard you're playing. Like, I mean, obviously if they're not the strongest player, you don't want to put them in the dirt like that, but like definitely, you know, play around with them, teach them a lesson or something, and then just keep in mind to your own self, like, how bad do I want it? Like, fuck, maybe let them go up by 5 just so you have to come up by 5, just to put yourself in that mindset, because
Damn, that's
you
crazy.
know
That's a good point.
you want to get it way better than them. But it's like, yeah, dude, it's that off season in anything, you know? Oh, you know, for instance, like, what is it? Summertime, springtime, whatever. The most, you know, beautiful time of the year all around. Like, these are when, who cares? Like, the most beautiful photos or most beautiful images or time of life to shoot. Like, whatever these crazy photographers be talking about, that's their moment to shine. It's like, whatever, dude. Like, your wedding photos, whatever, dude. Like, just keep focusing on yourself and motherfucking focusing on your craft, because the best time to do it is all the time, right now, the time we have at hand. Not, oh, I can't wait until spring to get all my flower photos. It's like, who cares? Let me see your flower photos right now in this day and age at the fucking, you know, in the forest that we have. Like, oh, you don't have none because you're not putting in the hours. Like, how bad do you want it, dog? Because by the time spring comes, we're gonna see who has more photos or more quality photo. Like, whatever the competition is within, you know, your own, however you gauge it, it's like, how bad do you want it? You know, how bad are you working at that craft, and how much are you trying to be better than you were yesterday? You know, the biggest competition is yourself, I feel like, and having to prove to yourself every day, that's the biggest challenge, you know, waking up and getting to it. Like, fuck, there's no one that's gonna tell me not to do it other than myself. But if I keep telling myself that every day, then I'll never be better than I was yesterday, because doing the same shit, you know? So I don't know. It's all about, I feel like, I don't know, yeah, like we bring it all right back to the team. Like, this is a team effort for us to come together and talk about real shit. Like, if I didn't want to say anything about anything, I would just be an awkward player on the team. And we've all had these awkward players on the team that are like, oh, dude, you didn't even run the route. And you're like, yeah, I didn't know how. And you're like, fuck, then tell me, it would have helped you. You know, it's like, if no one's even showing up, how bad do you want it, dog? Right back to it, you know? Like, show up and get the work just to show how bad you want it, at least. Like, I don't know, dude. My homie always told me that. He's always, whenever we're struggling and I'm fucking ready to throw in the towel, he's like, yeah, dog, but how bad do you want it? I'm like, fuck, you're right, dog. You know?
And it's like what we were talking about at the beginning, too. Like, you're not really winning and losing. Like, you can't lose until you just give up. So, like, when you're actually losing in the micro, the small competitions, it's just a learning experience. So then you can come back, try again, and then win, and then you go forward. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. In micro, Gary Vee, shout out.
Yeah. Micro speed, macro patience. You know, it's good shit.
I love it.
Nah, yeah, that is good shit.
This is a dope ass interview, guys, or a podcast with y'all. I'll fuck with you guys.
Yeah, dude, it's all love right back, man, on this side.
You want to get back on again in a couple months or something, man? Like,
dude, we should. You know what I would be down for is I'll talk with my homie, and the next podcast we drop will be with you guys. So we'll get you guys on our podcast too. A collaboration of podcasters.
Yes.
I like that.
Fuck yeah.
Sick, dude. I mean, we don't have the biggest community, but we definitely know that people are listening when we drop one, and they know we haven't dropped one in a while. So it's dope. It's dope, bro. I'll definitely communicate that with them and get them on board with something within these before the year's over. Let's say that we'll do it before the year's over. It's gonna be tricky because family time's coming. Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's the second grind right there, but that's always number one. So shit, we gotta squeeze it in though if we could. Quick little hour of our time and boom, teamwork that shit. Make a play.
Like
for real, dude. Yeah,
art shit too sometimes. So.
Yes, bro. That'd be sick. I'm down. Fucking however we can put it together.
For sure.
Just lock it in, you know.
Yep.
T-shirts, design, all that. Video, dude. You guys do. Hell yeah. Get some business rolling.
Send you guys some random images. I don't know if they would mean anything, but if you needed something, I could probably just shoot them your way and see what comes up with it.
Hell yeah. You never know.
But
yeah.
I'm gonna have to get my laundry up and out of here. So
we appreciate it a lot, man.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shawnee Tsunami.
300.
300.
Only Tsunami 300, y'all. I'll catch you guys.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for hopping on, bro.
Take
Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Love from the Bay Area, y'all. I'll catch you guys.
Yes, sir. Be easy, man.